Welcome to day 89. The title is Unashamed Acceptance, and the scripture is 1 Corinthians 1:28, and it says, God selected the common and the cast off, whatever lacks status, so he could invalidate the claims of those who think those things are significant. And the devotional says, whether we are stay-at-home mothers, career women, in school, dealing with illness, recovering from divorce, or just trying to find our confidence, something causes all of us to ask the question, will God actually use me? Given my circumstances, given how things look or appear, and given who I've been and how others perceive and rely upon me, could God actually reinvent and use me for something glorious and new? Self-doubt has a clear mission, which is to prevent you from stepping boldly into your mission. It wants you to shrink your borders, bury your brilliance, and cripple the courage needed to be a living ripple effector on the earth. Destiny is a call to boldness. Service to the King and kingdom building happens when we embrace boldness and commit to building up others. That's true leadership. So here's the deal. Saying yes to your higher purpose isn't going to be easy. Anything worth having is worth believing in. And believing in God isn't enough if you don't believe that in Him you're more than enough too. The key is to remember this. An unashamed woman is an unstoppable woman. God will use you in a greater way when you stop being ashamed of your calling. It's time to release your timidness and regrets and trade them for resolve and readiness. And the question is, where do you feel God guiding you to lead next? And then the prayer at the bottom says, Lord, you've built me for bold adventures. Help me not to waste time questioning my worth and readiness and to instead maximize my God-given magnificence. I think so often we feel really confused about being a leader. Either we don't want to be a leader or we do, but we don't know who to lead. And I think we talked about it a few days ago. You are the leader inside your home. You're leading people at your job. You're leading people that you see. Even if you don't feel like it, God has placed that leadership quality inside of you. And I just think it's one of those things where we think things, because this is when we know we're using the world's metrics. When we feel like the leadership inside of our home, if you have a kid, 3 kids, whatever, like, oh, that's not enough to just lead my child, right? It's not enough to just lead people at work. I don't know why we think that quantity equals quality or quantity equals somehow more validity to our leadership or our leadership skills. That's not true. There's a lot of people out there leading millions. Millions are following and they're doing a terrible job. And I just also, it's something that I've been wrestling with ever since the rise of social media, which is if you want to be a good leader, look at who you're following. And if you are following, the follow button, but also truly following people, if you can tell me more about what a couple influencers did yesterday, then you can tell me about what God told you in prayer. Like that's just, and this is not a condemnation or a shame. This is how I check myself where I'm like, oh my gosh, if I know more about what's happening in the life of a stranger than I know what God is speaking to me to do today, that's a problem. That means that I am not leading in my own life. I am following. I'm not following Jesus. I'm following someone else. And that's the beauty about a relationship with God is that when we follow Jesus, He equips us to lead. So if you're not feeling like a leader, I just want to ask you, have you been following Jesus closely? Have you been seeking God and the things of God? And if you're not feeling like a leader, if you're not feeling equipped to lead, is it because you've fallen into just the pattern of being a follower? Are you just following a bunch of other people's lives? Because I just will tell you that it's fun to keep up with some people. It's fun to keep up with family and friends. When it comes to strangers, I think we really need to limit how much we consume because we don't know them. They don't know you. They don't care about us. And I mean that in a nice way. But I just think now more than ever, we just need to have our priorities straight if we want to be good leaders. But yeah, that's it. Tomorrow is day 90. I can't even believe it. And we are entering into the last devotional on significance. And then we reach our last 10 devotions, which is going to all be on courage. So anyways, I love you guys and I will see you tomorrow.